Greetings and Merry Christmas everyone, the Watchful One here. Yes, that's right, my favorite time of the year is finally here, Christmas. The food, the presents, the family, I even love the snow. Heck, I even like snuggling under blankets, so I like the cold too. But you guys don't care about any of that. You care about what I'm actually going to be talking about this year. And that's certainly a question, considering last year I reviewed Klaus and the year before I reviewed Krampus. At this point, I might as well review Jack Frost. What? No, not that one. Yeah, that one. That's the good stuff. Maybe next year I'll review it, but no, actually this year I want to do something a little interesting. Because a certain property from my childhood also came back, Animaniacs. It's honestly still so surreal to see this actually come back. And I have seen a few episodes and honestly, I think it's great. The humor is still completely and utterly on point and I honestly love it. But we ain't talking about that show either. And while Animaniacs had an amazing Christmas special and a recreation of A Christmas Carol, no, that's not what I'm talking about either. No, I want something that not a lot of people have talked about, but at the same time is in tone with the Christmas season. And I think I got just the thing right here. Yeah, you forgot about this, didn't you? Wakko's Wish, the Animaniacs movie. It's weird, this is one of those movies I've heard everyone say, oh yeah, I remember that, but no one ever actually talks about it. And that's a shame too, because by all technical definition, this is how the original series ended. Yeah, a lot of people don't remember that. This is meant to be the series finale. Well, kind of. Technically, it was meant to be a 3-episode finale, but the studio said no to that. But they didn't want to give up on it, so instead they cut it down and made it an hour-long straight-to-VHS movie. Cutting down a lot of the elements, but keeping some of the ones to keep it sort of like a finale. Plus, it's got a lot of snow, so you know what? I'm gonna count it for the Christmas season just because I really want to talk about it anyway. And just to really hit you in the nostalgia bone, I'm gonna be using a VHS copy of the movie. Old school grain and commercials and everything. Now I just need to get it onto my computer. Let's see, where does this thing go? Where do you go? Here? No. Maybe this glass is getting in the way. I don't think that's right. Come on. Play the movie. Get in there. Oh, it's in the back. Brilliant. There we go. Ah, the memories. Remember when Iron Giant came out and Cartoon Network made it a cult classic? And a post-Batman, pre-Birdman Michael Keaton? Oh my god, the memories are flooding back to me. We're wasting time though, let's get to the movie proper. Our movie actually begins with...
Over a century ago, in the foothills of the Old River Valley...
Ben Stein, what are you doing here? Well, actually, he's explaining the backstory of the world. There were 2 kingdoms, they were at peace, one of the kings died, then the other one took over. And now the other country is in poverty. Simple stuff until our titular characters are finally introduced. And I do mean all of them. Like seriously, when they wanted this to be a finale, they were not kidding. There's pretty much every single character that's ever been in Animaniacs in this movie. I mean, of course you got all the standard ones like Auto Scratch and Sniff, Hello Nurse, or I guess in this case, Hello Villager. But then even that friggin' chicken makes a cameo appearance in one of the scenes. Ben Stein's character is the angel in this, that's another good one. Oh yeah, and there's also the mime, but no movie's perfect. But heck, there's even references to past episodes. There's literally one where the characters go through their worst fears, and there's a reference to both that Barney ripoff and that weird-ass gas station bathroom. You know, for when Wakko needed to pee, you know the one. I don't think anyone expected fan service from Animaniacs, but considering this was meant to be the finale, it kinda makes sense. Why wouldn't you look back on the fond memories of the past episodes? And I can at the very least say it's good fan service that doesn't get in the way of the plot, or at the very least it does still move along the plot. There are either references that are actually part of the plot and are characters that actually move it along, or blinking and missing cameos, or in the case of the Nightmare Room, they're actually a part of the plot as it moves along as opposed to just halting it to say, hey, look at this. Though speaking of that, the fanservice characters are exactly on point and are just as hilarious as ever. Even in the briefest of scenes, they do bring their A-game. Cypress Squirrel being 100% done with life, the Good Feathers literally being spies for the enemy king, now that's just hilarious. Rita and Runt being fun little reprieves from everything. Heck, I even like Buttons and Mindy in this, and to be fair, I never liked them even in the original Animaniacs. Needless to say, there's a crap ton of side characters. If you're familiar with even the tiniest character, they probably got a cameo in this. Even if they were extremely brief, which I do have one criticism regarding that, the characters barely get any time to do anything. Which, I get it, we gotta focus on the Warner siblings, it is their movie after all, but I'm just saying I would have liked a little more extra with the other characters. It's cases like these where I can definitely see where that extra half hour with the 3rd episode would have really paid off. Because not only would we have gotten more time with the other characters, which I'm pretty sure a lot of us loved a lot more than the actual Warner siblings, no offense to them, but let's be honest, Slappy Squirrel is literally the best. But it also would have really helped with the pacing, which I understand the original show was very fast paced, but even that had moments to breathe. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I honestly had trouble keeping up the first time I saw it. Now don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying the pacing is unbearably bad or unwatchably bad, I'm just saying it would have helped a lot. And besides, the cameos we do get at the very least are welcomed even if they're not as long as they could have been. I'll take any time with the good pigeons, or Rita and Runt, or especially Minerva. I don't care if you're too sexy for the news show, I still love you. Although I do wonder what being with an anthro mink like her would be like in bed. I'll find it out next year. I'm just gonna focus on the fact that Sietch got a singing role. Oh yeah, that's another thing, this is a musical. I suppose that was inevitable considering the original show loved their musical numbers. Heck, I'm pretty sure Wakko's world is just ingrained into everyone's mind at this point. And true to that, they take classical songs and add their own lyrics and spin to it. And just like Wakko's world, oh my god, these songs are never gonna leave my head after watching this movie. Especially the Wishing Star song, mostly because they play it 3 or 4 times. So I hope you love the songs of Animaniacs. And I mean fucking love them. Because remember what I mentioned about the pacing in this? Yeah, that's another reason why the pacing is so fast. There's musical number after musical number. In fact, it's nearly half the movie. Again, I feel like this is another thing that an extra episode to this could have fixed. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not saying the songs are bad, quite the opposite, they are really good. They are catchy, they're upbeat, they're happy. Heck, some of them even use classical music for their arrangements, so I commend that. I mean, we are talking about a show that had an homage to Les Mis in the actual show, so of course the music was gonna be good. And you know what, I do realize I've been harsh this movie, it really does sound like that, but actually, I kind of forgive all of it. Any and all of my criticism gets negated for one simple fact, and considering I've been glossing over it, you can probably guess what I'm about to say. It's a fairy tale. Yeah, I know that sounds like a really stupid way to negate criticism, but hear me out. When we grew up watching Disney movies, and a lot of them are based off fairy tales. And I don't think I need to tell you this, but fairy tales do not hold up to scrutiny, not even one bit. Why is Ariel so selfish in The Little Mermaid? This is Stockholm Syndrome in Beauty and the Beast. All the green suddenly bloom back to life when all its scars defeated, yeah right. See what I mean? I don't agree with any of these criticisms. Well, maybe Ariel, but that's neither here nor there. My point I'm trying to make is that, sure, you can criticize these movies. I mean, it's pretty easy to if I'm being totally honest. But you know what's even more rewarding? Realizing that these are fairy tales meant for children that are being retold in a modern setting with modern animation. Stories that make our children's imagination run wild and make them be creative and inspired. And maybe to follow what they love, be it an animator or maybe even a storyteller. As someone who writes stories myself for my tabletop games, I may take inspiration from a lot of things, but one of them are Disney movies, especially their fairy tale stuff. And then when we have our kids, we will show them these movies and show them how important they are to us. And in turn, they will realize it themselves. And that's why ultimately, I think this movie is a diamond in the rough. Yeah, it has its rough spots, and yeah, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny in some areas. But ultimately, why should it? It's a fairy tale. Fairy tales are meant to inspire us and sometimes even teach us. And so when I go into the mind of a child watching this movie, I actually feel for the moments that are legitimately good even more. I feel happy for Wakko when he gets his hay penny. I feel mesmerized when he wishes upon a star. I love hearing these characters go on this crazy adventure to wish upon a star. Heck, I even felt choked up when Dot almost died. Yeah, there's actually almost a character death in this movie. I mean, yes, he obviously recovers like nothing, so it's played for laughs, but still. And ultimately, like any fairy tale, the characters you want to see succeed do succeed. Dot gets her life-saving operation, Scratch and Sniff opens up his industry, Hello Nurse is seen for more than just her body. And yeah, a lot of these are played for laughs, but that's what makes them even better. The best way I can describe it is imagine a fairy tale setting, but give it a modern day sense of humor and a modern day edge to it. Let Auto Scratch and Sniff and Hello Nurse create a potion that ends up being soda. Let the good pigeons be blissfully ignorant that they think they're the center of attention when they're just talking about a statue. Let it have a feel that this was written by people who obviously grew up with fairy tales, be it Disney or otherwise. That they can have a self-awareness that this is a fairy tale and it's gonna be extremely wacky and goofy, so let's have some fun with it. And that's exactly what they do. They play fast and loose with the reality of this because they can. And it hits that special kind of sweet spot that I think is extremely difficult to do when you do something like this. To put it simply, they parody and mock something, but still show genuine love for it. It's easy to mock something. Look at Disaster Movie and Epic Movie. It's easy to say, hey look, there's a thing, we just made fun of it, laugh. But it's considerably harder to show that you genuinely love something even when you're making fun of it. How you can pander to its aesthetics and cliches, but at the same time revel in them and then mock them a second later. How you can make the whole story about getting a wish while at the same time mocking the flimsiness of it. How you can have a cute and silly little poem at the beginning of the movie be a gut-wrenching moment for when Dot dies, but then have it be taken back a second later like nothing happened. How you can actually go the extra mile of having every single character except the bad ones get what they want. Heck, even the bad ones get a happy ending. In fact, the king is the only one that doesn't get one, but he was willing to kill the Warner siblings, so fuck him. And you know what, ultimately, I think now more than ever, we should see the appeal in fairy tales. I mean, some of us may see them as childish, and maybe they don't hold up to actual scrutiny, but why should that matter? Fantasies are ultimately just that. Fantasies. And maybe sometimes the real world doesn't always end like fairy tales, but sometimes it does. I mean, let's not act like it never happens. And the cherry on top of all of it, the Wheel of Morality even makes a cameo, and it has probably the best moral ever, as it actually ties into the movie itself. Put simply, no matter how bad things get, no matter how down they may seem, no matter how cold the nights may be, to always keep your chin up and never give up hope. To cope with what life gives you. And after this year, I think that's a message we can all get behind. And I think ultimately, it does tie into the Christmas season with that message. So I hope all of you, no matter where you are going to enjoy this Christmas despite the year we've had. That despite the dark coldness of the December nights, that we can all come together and warm our hearts, and hope the next year will be better than this. So keep your chin up, and never ever give up hope. I'm the Watchful One, saying have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a kick-ass Kwanzaa, and a festive holidays for everyone else. I'll see you guys next year. Hello everyone, just wanted to come in at the end. I know that kind of ruins the ending message, but yeah, I just wanted to come to you all to say thank you. No, really, sincerely and honestly, thank you. Thank you for sticking with me despite my inconsistent upload schedule, for sticking with me despite retiring my pony reviews, and for just tolerating my fat, derpy, lazy ass this year. And to all my friends and family watching this, thank you for sticking with me as well. I love every single one of you. And of course all the standard stuff, like, comment, and subscribe, share it around if you really liked it. And of course I have a Patreon if you want to help me out monetarily. Of course if you want to, it's completely optional. That being said, I want to give a big shout out to Soundwave, Prism Fox, and Logan01 for sticking with me. These guys have been with me for God knows how long now, and I cannot commend them enough for sticking with me. Thank you guys so much, and I hope to deliver even more content that I can be worthy of your money in the future. But that's all I got for you guys, so once again, all of you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, and have a very festive holiday season. Take care, and I'll see you guys in 2021.